How would you like to make your first million? And today we have joining from United States, Rod, which is an expert in AV, and he have an amazing product. That Rod, tell us, in your opinion, what are the 5 steps that entrepreneurs should be doing in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yeah, you know what? That's such a great loaded question, and it's hard to narrow down to five. But let me tell you, after thinking about this, I think the first and foremost is really having and concentrating on a true vision and purpose. You see, because you want to start with something that you could actually have and find out that you're trying to solve a problem. And you really want to go and make sure that you define clearly what is that real vision and mission that you have in order to help your venture move forward. And it will help obviously also guide you in your decision making. And really, it'll inspire your team if you really have that sense of purpose with your vision. The second thing is I would concentrate on is strategically planning and being able to come up with a sound business plan to outline your goals and then your target market, maybe doing an early competitive analysis. And then, of course, you want to do some financial projections to make sure that you're planning ahead in order to go and say that, yeah, I'm going to go and really do well in this business that I'm doing. And to hit that million, um, and with taking in that strategic planning, you also want to also make sure that it's simple and then you think that it's valuable because when you put those two together with strategic planning, I think it'll all come into play at that point. The next one is what my business partner Jim and I we call continuous learning and adaptation. So
Mhm.
that's three. Being able to really understand how to test and retest and then improve upon it. There's also a thing out there, out in the internet and in a lot of, I'm sure, business kind of articles and videos that talk about fail fast, fail often, and fail forward. And this is that continuous learning and adaptation that we're talking about. Fourth, I think that one of the big things is to also build a strong network because you can't really do it alone if you also don't have your, as I always say, flexing your network. So cultivating good relationships with your mentors and peers, and then also your potential customers that you're going to have. This is where you're going to glean really great and valuable insights in order to make sure that your focus is there, you know that how to best support them, and then also lastly, you are obviously when you grow your network, you're growing both personally and professionally. And then lastly, Harry, I think the one big thing is that it's all about execution, 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 but then you also have to have a resilience factor behind that. Because when you execute, you can say, all right, everything is going good, but maybe you didn't think that it's going to go well all the time. And you have to be resilient in being also able to make sure that you're consistent in your way. You can think about building a strong foundation and then you scale up from there. And then that again, it all comes back to the four that I mentioned, but also making sure that even if you have some setbacks, you're resilient in making sure that you can keep plugging away and moving forward.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, Rod. So, why you decide to become an entrepreneur? Do you have an entrepreneur in your family? Why business? Why do you have several businesses? So we can say that you are a serial entrepreneur. So
Ah,
why you decide to take this path?
well, if I may, Harry, I have a twofold answer to that. The first one is if I can concentrate on me personally first, before I also talk about my partnership with great partnership with Jim. But um, 20 years ago, I was an entrepreneur myself in the Silicon Valley, and
Wow.
yeah, and long story short, I with my business partner, a different one, and five other people, we actually humbly sold our coupon syndication company to Microsoft. And so
Wow.
that's why I find myself in the background here with Seattle in the background. And that was 20 years ago. Can you believe it?
Wow.
And so it was a humbling experience, and it was life altering for me. What was even more interesting is we got our proceeds, and then but I also got a bonus of being asked to also be part of in my career being part of Microsoft. So
Wow.
yeah, so it was really great. It was a kind of double bonus for me. But along the way, I also said, well, I got to understand the culture that I was in from an enterprise perspective. But interestingly, when we were tasked to go and work on another project inside of Microsoft that was dealt with audiovisual and building out something that really it's not a coined or kind of like a trademark term. It was a thing where we would build audiovisual optimized rooms, conference rooms in a box. And it was called the Room in a Box initiative, in which then, this is my second point, where my business partner in Actuate AV, Jim and I, we started up our own little mini startup, if you will, to be able to build these out in a very big, organic, and then simplistic way in which people can understand, oh, what kind of conference room do you need for your business? The right size, the right equipment. And then, much like how you see stereo components put into a single box, think about a conference room all put into a box, and then it's simple and ready to go. So, with that, I feel like that the broad experience that we've had in the humble beginnings as an entrepreneur and up to where we are now, I think that gives us the street credibility to be able to go out and sell these in a big way.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more about this conference room. How many people can fit and in these conference rooms and it's to do
Yeah.
remote meetings, right?
Yeah. So, it's interesting because
If there is a
uh
board meeting and you have 8 to 12
exactly.
people there, and it's
Yes.
and 8 to 12 people in US speaking with
Hmm.
8 to 12 people in UK,
Yes,
how
absolutely.
how this is gonna work?
Yeah, so really great question on that one, Harry. And I'll start by telling you that we start from the basic because we know that if you are an information worker or a power user of any type, and let's say that you're a single consultant, you have your own business where you want to go and leverage your consulting capability. Well, maybe you want to be able to go and have an optimized home office suite, if you will, and then we have different flavors or packages of that. And the good news is that we also deal with the world's best manufacturers out there. So if I may, I'm just going to say this just generically. Logitech, Lenovo, Samsung, um, um, Microsoft, obviously, and then there are so many other manufacturers that are out there, both in display and also in video conferencing capability, cameras, speakers, you name it. We start there in the very small, and then we can go and scale up from there. So there are focus rooms, is what we call it. Small, medium, and large conference rooms, where the large conference rooms could be also, depending on what kind of major equipment that you're envisioning, maybe single screen, dual screen, projector, LED panel. It can kind of be whatever your heart's desire. But the nice thing is that it's already templated. It's already kind of like optimized so that whatever size you choose, it's we already know that, oh, that's the one that you want with a little tweaking, but you can order X amount of those and then you get it drop shipped already in a nice package, based on the number that you want and then the configuration that you're expecting. But it's meant to be that easy. Again, room in a box is the whole thought of it.
So
Yes,
basically, for
yes.
example, even if you're doing any events, right, that
Hmm.
then you want to
Hmm.
broadcast in Zoom, You're doing
Correct.
a live event, and you want to also
Hmm.
broadcast it in Zoom. You guys will provide the computer for
The
the PowerPoint, the projector,
exactly. Yes.
the and how everything will interconnect with
Correct. Correct.
and
And
you was describing with me that you guys also give support, right?
correct. And I forgot to mention too that even with all this amazing software or hardware, I should say, that it comes with, we are also a video platform agnostic, meaning that if you want Microsoft Teams, if you want a Google room, you want a Zoom room, you want Blue Jeans, whatever suits your fancy and being able to go and use the best of breed in video conferencing capability. We're really about optimizing your experience of bringing the two together so you can really have a great conversation like what we're having today on this call,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So,
and tell me about
yeah,
because there is a lot of issues, light, sound, um,
absolutely.
light, sound, the quality, and took us a long time, long time to
Uh-huh.
figure out how to have the best quality to provide this and also to be portable as well. Because
Absolutely.
and in terms of
And
projectors, again, in terms of projectors, you need a good projector, and there are so many out there and so many different prices. But which projector actually is going to when you're doing the event,
yes,
it will be good. It will behave properly. And
exactly. And we also are aware too, Harry, that what we are also selling has to meet the correct price points for the customer, or the
hmm
individual.
hmm
And of course, when all of this is here, you talked about the support that we provide. We also provide that great consultation as well in making sure that you're fitted correctly with the right technology and also you're not over compensating for equipment that you may not need. So we're
if you
all
have
there
so
to make
many
sure.
people, if you have 8 people to speaking, you might need a mixer, no?
Yeah, exactly.
You
Right?
need you need a mixer because
Hmm.
to calibrate all that. And I think that yeah, and have the price competitive price. This is
Absolutely.
something. So you guys have different packages, and then
Hmm.
you offer support, right?
Correct. Yeah. So, obviously, not one size always fits all. We also obviously, based on depending on the entity that we're talking to, we also have volume discounting too. So let's say that the pricing will be different if you only needed one or two conference rooms of different sizes versus one where we're going into, let's say a co-working facility and you
And
want
the
to go
people
and
will
have
keep the
10.
equipment, yeah. Everybody will keep all the
Correct.
equipment. You keep
Correct.
everything. Yeah, that's
Yes.
interesting
Night.
because
Hmm.
I was checking to do an event,
Uh-huh.
and I say the AV charge was expensive, and I'm doing events all over the world, and I'm like,
Yes.
I'll buy it myself. And I remember that the woman told me, well, Harry, you buy yourself, but if you have a problem, that's your problem. That's on you. And
Well,
that kept me thinking, like, she has a point, because you have an event, um,
hmm
you want everything working. Usually, where we have multi-speaking events, and yeah, we have
yes.
in-house speakers, mixers, and things like that. But this time, usually the projector is there, is built in into the room, but this time it wasn't. So
hmm
projector is a new new
New
subject for
medium.
me. Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yes.
new thing that is not out of the thing that I haven't worked before. I'm kind of thinking,
Uh-huh.
my God, if I buy this projector, connect the thing, and this is not gonna work, it's gonna be
That's
tricky
right.
because usually when we do the events, we bring the sound, we bring the speaker, we know how to set up everything. We have this material. However, when it comes to, but the projector is always there, built in, and
That's right.
the thing for the hotel connect this, so as we
It's
can
got
do
to
the
be
sound.
simple.
But now, if you
It's got
have
to be
to
simple.
deal with everything, maybe it would be a
Mm-hmm.
very good solution. So I understand 100% why your product is so good and why you're selling a lot, because it's more affordable. Let's
Yes.
let's face it,
Yeah.
it's more affordable to rent a room in a hotel plain and to
Mm-hmm.
order from you guys everything with the support and put yourself everything together. That get an IV is expensive.
Yes.
I'm telling you that Jim, your partner was asking me, Harry, do you know about IV? Do you consume it? Yeah, I'm telling them, yeah, I do consume this product a lot.
There you
And
go.
worldwide, we are thinking when we go to Dubai, we go to Singapore, when we go to London, everywhere
Mm-hmm.
we go, we need to have someone on the ground, which is an IB team based there,
Yes.
and of course it's
Yes.
expensive. You need to have someone around in London, because we based in London. We don't need any IP anything because we own everything, and
There
after
you
so
go.
many events, after so many events, I've already figured out how to fix the mixer, how to do the microphone, how to do everything,
That's right.
except the projector. The projector is completely different ball game. It's a
Yes.
new, and again, which one you use? Because you don't want headache
Definitely
using the
not.
projector. And also something else that is important, you pointing out that is important, is now events. Even if you have that projector, most of the events they are live, but also we
Live.
broadcasting
So it's
in
kind of
Zoom.
hybrid.
It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
hybrid, and this is
Yep.
a know-how thing that people in the industry
Mm-hmm.
I have, and of course you should have a lot of corporate clients that will be the
Exactly.
best clients, because in mind every time all the meetings rooms that people gonna do, in mind you need to hire people, and honestly, it's 8 people, 10 people, and it's not a couple. Of course, if you're gonna have 2,000 an event with 2,000 people, you do need to
Yes.
have someone there to look after
To
everything.
help to help and support that and
But
give
for a tiny, yeah,
mhm, the
for a
audio
small event,
reinforcement.
yeah, I
Correct.
was thinking
Yeah.
kind of 100 to 100 people, but I never. This is something that, with the small kit that you just share with us,
Uh-huh.
and with the right equipment, with the right quality, that will be more than
Yeah.
enough. All right.
Yeah. And
So how
Harry,
you
two
come with
points
this
out.
idea? How do you guys find out there was a need on the market for
Oh
this?
yeah, I can definitely answer that. But before I go there, I just want to call off up 2 points. The first, because you mentioned international. The good thing is that we work with a really great distribution partner. So when these
Wow.
bundles are put together, yeah, our distribution partner also works globally, so that if you ordered a conference room of ours in a different country, one of the things that a lot of people don't think about is that, oh, maybe the manufacturer doesn't have that particular display, and we have to find the appropriate alternate thing. You see, because for example, one of the big things that changes from country to country is power, and getting the right power adapter to go
Oh
in
yeah.
into the, you see, and
US
so
and UK is different,
correct.
and
See,
Europe
and see,
different.
correct, and Asia is different too. So we
Asia is
work, we're
different.
making sure.
In
Yeah,
Singapore,
definitely
I think Singapore is similar than UK.
similar. Similar, but
Yeah.
there are others that use 220 power in Asia. So there
Oh
you go.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Look at
so
this.
we've learned to understand what is going on in servicing also an international market, and being able to have a distribution partner who could help make us look like rock stars, in order to say, oh, you want to order those conference rooms? Well, they're already doing the right thing, you know. I also want to tell you, Harry, that there's also one other product that we have. It's not visibly advertised, although we think that we want to go and call it out more. You had mentioned about these bundles of conference rooms of different types, home office suites, focus, small, medium, and large. But do you know we also have another package that's called conference room as a service? And so what that means is that it's kind of, you don't want to ever own the equipment, but you want to go and have the best equipment and you're kind of leasing it. And that's the new kind of way in which we think about audiovisual when it comes to, okay, you want the conference room, but you don't want to have to worry about, oh my gosh, because this equipment has a life cycle, maybe 3 to 5 years, and you don't want to have like this kind of boneyard of old aging equipment. And maybe the
Yeah,
model
you
that you
use
want
it and then you put it in a box and you send it back again. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we work on the refreshes of
Unless that
whatever is
you
the
do,
latest and
unless that
greatest.
you do so many events like me, for
That's
example,
right.
or me, I need to
That's
have
right.
it because I'll do so many. But
Yes,
for people that are in one off, or for people that I don't know, they are in a city just for a meetup or and
correct.
then we're not gonna use. It's a very good idea to list it because arrive, you
Exactly.
connect everything, and then you can ship it back. It
You
will
could
be
ship
more
it all back.
affordable. Will be more
hmm
affordable, definitely to buy
That
all
that's why
these.
we thought of that model. Yes,
Mm.
for that very thing, and for the ones that just simply don't want to have the hassle of warranty expired. Oh my gosh. And then now I have to go and have a budget to go and think about a refresh. So yeah, we really thought about that in coming up with another model, a cloud-based model
How you
to
do
have
with
it as a
lighting and
service.
camera when you have 8 people in the boardroom? That's gonna
Mhm.
be tough. That everybody has a good light, no?
Oh, well, believe it or not, we work with some of the best manufacturers, like I mentioned out there, like Polycom and Link and others, where they have amazing speaker-centric cameras, where then it could even, based on lighting conditions, where you're sitting in the conference room, they can even highlight and spotlight you specifically. So even if you're sitting
Automatically.
in a table, automatically, yes, it'll splice and dice who's sitting in what, and then it'll through AI recognition, facial recognition, it'll be able to go and figure out who's all sitting in the room, and
Who's
then when you're speaking,
speaking?
it'll highlight it. Yeah. hmm
Yeah, and light.
And
What
lighting,
you do with the
it'll
light?
adjust for the lighting. It'll adjust for the lighting, but of course, when you have like larger events that require, let's say
Because
that you're having a
eight people
panel.
in a conference room. How the conference rooms
Correct.
are, you have a window, then you have a wall in the other
That's
side.
right.
So
That's
even
right.
me, you can see me right now. Half of my face is is
Yeah.
more
Well,
is more
I know
lit
that
than
you have
the
some
other
light
one.
coming. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I got a
Yeah.
window next to
hmm
me, and my lights are in low
Well, my
at the
lightings come
moment.
from up above because you see
Yeah,
my forehead shining.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and but so how you solved out the lighting issue? Because not only the quality of the light has to be the position.
Yeah,
For a conference room with 8 people, it's
and
gonna
so
be tough, right?
that's part of our initial consultation also with
Ah,
our
because you
potential
send it the
customers.
light, but you also gonna
Yes.
tell the client, listen, this is where you have to put it, otherwise this is
Yes.
not gonna work. You
Yeah,
guys are
because
because when it's a corporate meeting, and especially if you're doing B2B,
correct.
the last thing that you want to look is if
They
you don't
gotta
have the
look
right
their best.
lighting, if you don't have the right
hmm
lighting, the right sound, it looks so unprofessional. We teach that a lot
And
in our workshop, by the way.
oh, and that's fantastic to hear. And I'm
It's
glad
very
that you're
important.
teaching it because it
Yeah,
is
we
key.
teach
It's
it.
key.
We teach it to all
Yeah.
the entrepreneurs. The people think that okay, if you're gonna have a meeting, you're gonna have a business meeting, you go there with the suit and with the tie. But when you are in Zoom, then who cares about the song? Who cares about the thing? And let me show up in t-shirt in a
Yes.
t-shirt. And it's no,
But
you need to show up with the good light, good sound,
good
and
sound,
well, letters.
especially.
Look at me, yeah. And even in my
Yeah.
girlfriend Lily, my girlfriend, she has a podcast,
Uh-huh.
and you won't believe. At the moment, she's in Dubai doing the podcast in Dubai, and you won't believe
Oh, wow.
she took her computer, which is very heavy, and the lights and everything, in order
Oh,
to
yes.
because to make sure that she teach personal branding, so to make sure that she had the best lighting possible, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
No,
should do
and to
something
your
about my window, to be honest, because
yes.
maybe this broadcast is meant to be because we need that. We know that we have to show professional all the time. That says a lot about you, about your business, about what
A
you do. So
credibility. Yes.
credibility.
Hmm.
So
And
and
I think I see your girlfriend Lily in the background there,
yes, yes, you can see Lily
flashing.
there.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So
And to
go
your
ahead.
point, we also consult that way because lighting is one, but audio, oh my goodness. How many
Mm-hmm.
times have Jim and I been tasked to go and consult ahead of time, and then when we ask about their environment, we find out that, oh my goodness, three of your four walls are all glass, and that has audio effect for sure when it sounds reverberating against the
Mm-hmm.
glass, and it sounds echoey inside of the room. So we also have to account for
Big
that too.
problem. Big
Yes, yes.
problem. Big problem.
Hmm.
Nobody will get anything out of the meeting. Everybody wastes their time.
So correct.
Imagine if it's a boardroom between two countries and you have this issue and it's very
That's
very
right.
challenging. Yeah.
Hmm.
So uh, Rod, one more
Yes.
question.
Hmm.
Why these let's talk about tech businesses. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We one out of five people that come to this podcast, Five Step How to Make the First Million, are actually tech entrepreneurs. Uh,
Hmm.
and people might think that wow, because so many tech millionaires go to Harry's podcast, it's very easy to become a millionaire if I have a tech business.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, there are some is easy to scale. You can have more scalable. You can have a low barrier to entry somehow.
Hmm.
But is it really that easy to become a millionaire in doing tech business, or you really need to know what you're doing? Because what nobody talks is that tech also have the highest rates of failure because of the
They do.
simplicity. Somebody else can
Knock it
can
off.
duplicate or replicate
Yes.
what you're doing,
Hmm.
and again, in order to differentiate yourself, somebody had to be behind the product. Someone like you guys
Yes.
had the pleasure to be your business partner that they really know what they're doing, and you actually have it's more about delivering this. It's just about building a brand, someone that it is an expert on this that will make sure
Hmm.
that is flawless. So tell us about the challenges of building tech businesses, the pros and cons, and is it really that easy to become a tech millionaire? So people see the Jeff Bezos, they see the Google guys, they
Uh-huh.
see Apple, they see, and everybody says, "Wow, I'm gonna have a tech business and I'm gonna become a gazillion billion."
You know, Harry, that's a really great question. And for me, especially because I could say, wow, humbly, very humbly, that I was able to go and sell my first startup, and now Jim and I are working on this other one. But when we think about it as entrepreneurs, I think really the best advice when you're challenged about being that entrepreneur and getting those millions right away, it's helping yourself to be prepared for the uncertain. I really have to say that, and that comes in so many ways because it comes financially, sometimes emotionally, because there's sometimes when you're like, wow, I thought I would be already doing something in a month or in 3 months or so on. And that might be also stemming from how you operate, right? So these are the things where if it's the times are uncertain, it may feel like that your business is unstable. But what I really want to say is that if you, again, surround yourself with a lot of support network out there and stay grounded in what you're really trying to do on the mission of what you're trying to do with your business. And my gosh, one of the things that I think the biggest miss in a lot of what entrepreneurs want to do because they keep on saying, I want to build the product, I want to build the product. But the crazy thing? is that they forget about who they're building it for, which is concentrate on the customer. And when you do that, you'll make sure that what you're building is really focused on that customer. Because if you're not solving their problem, they will not see the value on what you're trying to build, technology or not. If you're trying to go and reach your first million and you're thinking that, oh, it's got to be in tech, it's got to be in something else. No, really, the whole secret, at least from what I found, because I deal with a lot of other things and other than tech, it's always focusing on the customer. And when you can do that, um, you'll be talking to them, and then your marketing becomes very easy in doing that because you're really taking them into account as a persona. And then that you'll really, if you stay close to your customer, you can test your ideas with them. You can then manage your costs, and then once you have a good foundation, my goodness, it'll Jim and I have a saying, by the way. It's what we like to say is our success comes honestly from discipline in knowing our customer, not by just dreaming, right? It really comes from that. So,
Okay, so
yeah.
Rod, if somebody's in love with our conversation, I want to find more about your product, the services that you guys
Yeah.
use, how people can find you, how this process work.
Sure. They can simply reach us on actuateav.com. We're out there live, and then one can avail of the services and offerings that we have there. And we also have our respective emails. We have a generic one, info@actuateav.com, where it'll reach both Jim and I. So it's as simple as that.
And
And
how
we're
the
happy to
process
have
works. So
the
you visit the
conversation.
website, and what you're gonna
Oh,
find in the
sure.
website, you find what?
Yeah,
What you're
you'll
gonna find in the website?
Yeah, you'll find our what we're all about, our service offerings about the different packages that I alluded to earlier. And then if you want to have or learn more, you can have certainly a conversation with us by simply putting in something into our contact form. And then we're all about sales, but we're about fostering a good relationship first. And the initial consultation is really the key. After we do that, then we understand what your needs are and put you into the right solution for your business, whatever that is. So, yeah.
100%. So Rod, that
Hmm.
has been amazing. Thank you so much
Thank you so much, Harry.
for the podcast, and keep innovating, because that's the most important thing to work with experts, is that you can have the best experience, and sometimes it's not as expensive as people think, because you guys have a contract with the distributors, that with the company that provide that material, so maybe they can
Absolutely.
give you the equipment at a good price, and then you have an expert working with you at a competitive price, and it's very important for your brand, for the corporate brand, for the brand of the company. Make sure that every meeting you have, especially if you do B2B, even B2C, if you show yourself with a good light, with a good sound, with a good uh, background if it needs to, and the whole experience of the meeting
Yes,
become message can be shared clearly, right?
that's right. And Harry, if I may, one last thing I want to mention is that that consultation is key for us. But if I were to summarize what Jim and I have with Actuate AV, the really big thing is that we all build our differentiation on that building of that customer relationship. So there has to be initial trust. There has to be where we know that in the world of tech and internet, everything is fast and there's a lot of choice. But what we'd like to make sure that we are differentiating and making ourselves more memorable is knowing that you have a trusted source to go to in making sure that you get what your needs are, and then we're understanding what you're needing in your environment and what you're trying to accomplish. Once we put those together, we want to foster that relationship and make it a lasting one, you know?
Thank you so much. And with that note,
Yes.
Rods, once again, thanks very much. And for all of you, following us in this broadcast. See you in our next episode. How great entrepreneurs like Rod break the wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.